Well, a woman is sitting in the garden at home with her husband on a warm summer's evening and says, "I love you." He asks, "Is that you or the wine talking?" She replies, "It's me talking to the wine." I don't know where I get this out of. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The first time I did it. Good evening. Did the show 15 years in the morning at 8 o'clock, so I'm used to saying good morning. But good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Let's Talk Real Estate. I will take your questions, your calls, your comments, your complaints on real estate and real estate finance. 324-1500. If you have a question or a comment, maybe thinking about buying a home, building a home, selling a home, refinancing a house. Great thing last week on a couple weeks ago on refinancing. We're going to be talking today on investing in real estate for rental properties. How do you invest in rental properties? What's the pros and cons and good and bad side and all that? So we'll be back with that. Stay with us. We'll be right back, people.
Looking for someone to make your next home loan? Start with someone you can trust. Susie Dartlin at Iberia Bank Mortgage Company, one of the most experienced lenders throughout Northeast Louisiana. Knowledgeable in all types of mortgages, including FHA, rural development, VA, and conventional mortgages. Iberia Bank Mortgage processes, underwrites, and closes all loans right here in Monroe, Louisiana. Start your process with one of the most respected lenders in our market. Susie Dartlin and Iberia Mortgage. Call 327-3317. Equal Housing Lender. NMLS 362451. All loans subject to approval, including credit approval. Some restrictions may apply. Other programs available. Program conditions subject to change without notice. Susie Dartlin, NMLS 419431. Coldwell Banker Group 1 Realty and Iberia Bank Mortgage are separate independent entities.
We're experiencing some extremely hot weather this summer. Sharon Uchley at Coldwell Banker Group 1 Realty specializes in water-related properties and would love to assist you in finding a cool property to enjoy. Whether it's lakefront property like Darbone, Caney, or Horseshoe, swimming pools, ponds, or even waterfalls, call or text Sharon on her anytime cell phone, 372-7778. That's 372-7778. And let her take you on a sea cruise of available properties. Coldwell Banker Group 1 Realty, 362-0007. Each office independently owned and operated.
Fox Family Electric, the company you've trusted for over 35 years for all your electrical needs. Their proven experience and trusted customers include many churches, hundreds of residential homes, and commercial properties throughout Northeast Louisiana. Fox Family Electric loves the small jobs too, from changing light bulbs to light switches. They're there for all your needs, including after-hour emergency service. Fox Family Electric, experience, trust, and committed to what's best for you, the customer. Call David Fox at 318-330-9966. That's 318-330-9966.
Have you ever had a friend or family member, or have you ever bought a house where everything goes wrong on the last day? This is Justin Underwood of Movement Mortgage, and my team and I are right here in Monroe, Louisiana, and we want to take the stress and worries out of your home buying experience. Movement Mortgage has designed our entire loan process to take those stresses and hassles away. We work with first-time home buyers, military, and have various down payment options. Give my team and I a call. We are here for you. I'm Justin Underwood with Movement Mortgage. We want to bring you home faster. Call us at 318-805-2811. That's 318-805-2811.
Movement Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 39179. Justin Underwood, MLS ID 1122476. NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Well, for all you marketing majors, if the circus comes to town and you paint a sign saying circus coming to the fairgrounds Sunday, that's advertising, okay? If you put the sign on the back of an elephant walking through town, that's promotions, okay? If the elephant walks through the mayor's flower bed, that's publicity. If you can get the mayor to laugh about it, that's public relations. And if you plan the whole thing, that, ladies and gentlemen, is marketing, okay? Welcome back. 324-1500 if you have a question or a comment. My goodness, I've got to first say hats off to all the great people that supported the flooding situation and victims in southern Louisiana, and so many people throughout the community, throughout Northeast Louisiana, has supported that from the real estate industry. Very odd at the number of people and companies, and I think everybody had a little hand in it. We had several trailers sitting at our Coldwell Banker office in West Monroe for the last, couple of weeks or so. Every day it seemed like the people were dropping things off. We had donation signs on Cypress Street there. You saw them, but we're dropping things off there. But my hat's off to the great people, Remax, Keller Williams, Coldwell Banker, Shannon Harper, J.R. LaForce from our company, Jackie Gill from Remax, Slagle McGuffey Remax, Mark Uchley, Ethan Landry, Shane Wooten, I think, dropped some stuff off from Keller Williams. There's so many people that participated, and I'm leaving people out, but just an awesome effort to get all that done. And this is the last day of the month, which is fantastic if you're in real estate, because that's when everything happens. Why does that happen? Why does everybody close their loans, close their transactions at the end of the month, last day of the month? Well, lenders charge interest from the date of closing to the end of the month, and then they say you skip the next month. You don't really skip the next month. You make a payment the first of the following month, but it's for that previous month. But you pay interest from the date of closing to the end of the month. So if people are trying to get into a home as inexpensively as possible, then they kind of set it up to the end of the month where they have the least interest. You close something on the 5th or the 10th of the month, you're going to have half a month's interest to be added to your closing cost. It all washes out. It's no better or worse, but people are trying to get into home. But the last day of the month is always a very interesting day. Now, normally if it's a Friday, a Thursday or Friday, people like to move over the weekend, so it makes it extremely active. On a Wednesday, you never know. But let me tell you what, I know throughout Northeast Louisiana there were tremendous number of closings today, sales that consummated today, and I'm sure all companies had great days. I can tell you, Coldwell Banker Group 1 Realty, we're still counting. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, probably close to 15 closings today just at Coldwell Banker Group 1 Realty, and I don't doubt that some have closed or are still closing that I won't see till tomorrow, but very, very, very active day, very active time in real estate. People ask me all the time, probably 3-4 times today, is the real estate market active? I take calls from all over the United States on the market and what's happening in this part of the country, and I think 2 or 3 times today I've told people that it's very good. But you know what I can tell you? In my 45-year career in real estate, now you can laugh at me, but I bet y'all can't do 50 push-ups. You can't do 50 push-ups, can you? No. So, laugh at me if you want because I'm 98 years old, but, keep up with me too, okay? But what I can tell you is that when interest rates are good, and historically good, they're probably, 3.5 or so, sitting around 30-year mortgages. When they're that good, people are going to buy houses, okay? Economic disasters, wars, floods, whatever. What does everybody want? They want to buy a house. They want to move up. They want to invest. You're going to live someplace anyways. And right now, you can buy cheaper than you can rent. Now, I've got Dwayne something coming on the air here in a few minutes, and we're going to talk about rentals as an investment. But what I can tell you, and I'm just plugging this in my little calculator here, it is not unusual to rent a house right now. Can you imagine in Baton Rouge, trying to rent a house right now in Baton Rouge? Lordy, I bet those rental rates have gone up 25% or so. But it is not unusual for just a normal, average, simple little house to have to pay $1,000 a month rent. Well, let me just back this off. Let me just take off $100 for taxes and insurance and everything, and let's see what you could buy for that same thousands of dollars. If I plug in like $900 for your payment because you got taxes and insurance, and we go 30 years and we plug in an interest rate here, that tells me you can buy a $200,000 home. $200,000 home on a 30-year mortgage, and your payments be in the ballpark of $1,000 a month. I mean, how bad is that, people? And you're renting something that ain't worth $200,000, okay? Maybe $150,000 or something. But and when you can get a 100% loan, almost every week I run into somebody that their dream is to buy a home, and I say, why haven't you bought a home? And they say, well, I don't have any money. You don't have to have money, okay? You get a 100% loan, get the sellers to pay the closing cost. You walk into it for a few $100s, okay? So I think credits are a little bit easier than they have been in the past. But real estate very, very, very active right now and projected to be good for the immediate future. Only God knows, if God knows, what's going to happen in the next few years politically, economically, worldwide. It's just amazing out there. I'm going to leave that to Moon Griffon, okay? All right. But I tell you what I have seen, too, and I've never talked about my company, Coldwell Banker, in 15 years in real estate I did before. Never really talked about it that much. But we've added probably 30 or 40 agents to our company this year throughout Northeast Louisiana. I had 2 quality people today that I met with. I have 2 appointments when I leave this show, 6:15 and 7:30, meeting with 2 other quality prospects. These are people with great careers from the medical profession, from teaching. Teachers make great realtors. And we have probably 15 right now on our list. We have a special list. When people come in, I meet with them, and I spend an hour with them. We go over everything from good to bad, brutally honest. Let's talk about the cost. Let's not leave any secrets or anything unturned. They leave. They go up to sign up for real estate school, and we track them. We invite them to training that we do in our company free. We've got probably 15 on the list right now of people coming into real estate. The market is active, and the newer people, too, are doing fantastic. I'm just going to, and Lordy knows, I'm going to make 100 people mad, but I'm just going to say hats off. Hey, Dwayne Sutton, you on the air?
Yes, I am.
Okay, well, you rung the bell today. Steve Thomas, who hadn't been with us for, I don't know, 3 months or something, 3-4 months maybe?
Yeah.
He
had 2 closings today. He's done real well since he's been there.
Yeah. Man, he's had closings seems like every week or two, but had 2 today. Very nice closings. He walked away with some pretty good money today. Brittany Moody, who been bossing me around for a couple of years, young lady. I don't know if Brittany is 23 or so now, a Tech graduate. She was a junior at Tech and came in, said she wanted to go to real estate. And she didn't ask me. She told me. And hope you're not listening, Brittany. Went through the school, passed the test, put her license in the other company we have, just kind of hold it for a while. And then she graduated, came in. That gal is taking off. She had 2 closings today, back to back. Tried to talk to her. She said, I ain't got time. I got closings, you know. Tom Pearson, the weatherman, who's an agent of ours, had a closing yesterday. Now, I text Tom. He was probably on the air doing weather, but I text Tom and congratulated him on a really nice closing yesterday. And I told him I'm not going to say anything to your wife, Jennifer, who's a teacher and an agent of ours. Teachers make great realtors, but I congratulate him and said I'm not going to tell anything to Jennifer. And then I immediately text Jennifer and said, hey, your husband's got money, okay? Then he texted me back with a copy of my text to her. But some great people, new people, a great time in real estate, isn't it, Dwayne?
It's a fantastic time in real estate. I think the market is very good. The properties are appreciating more than 2% this year, so I think it's a good time to be in real estate.
What do you think the state average is for appreciation in Louisiana?
It was predicted to be 4.7% from some data that I had looked at.
And don't we normally kind of figure something like around 3% or something?
I typically am a little more conservative. I like to say a 2% appreciation. And if you will look at what something is sold for today and maybe 10 years ago, and you can calculate what the appreciation has been. But in our area, it's typically 2%. But
very stable. I don't know if it's really ever dropped. It's flattened out, I think, a few years. 08, 9, 10 maybe or something has flattened out a little bit, but I think it always has been pretty good, hadn't it, around here?
Well, in 1988, 87, 88 we were in a depression in real estate. It dropped around 15%.
Yeah, that's right.
So
Yeah.
Howard Brothers shut down, and RTC was involved, and the real estate market really went down at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, we've had several recessions. And, you know, all those recessions that we've had in past years were underlined by high interest rates. I remember 16, 17%. But, you know, the recession of, quote, '08, it was a recession, and yes, the market suffered, but rates were still good. People were still buying.
Yes, the people were still buying that.
All right, Dwayne, and ladies and gentlemen, we're talking with Dwayne Sutton, who is probably one of the sharpest real estate investors in Northeast Louisiana. I'm honored to be affiliated with you, Mr. Sutton, and we've worked together for quite some years, but you have built homes, you have flipped, you have rented, you could retire right now and never have to do anything, but I can't let you because I got to make money still, okay? But
okay, but I appreciate that plug. I am not the smartest guy in the world as far as rental goes.
But you have analyzed everything, and you know, you and I, there's different designations in the real estate industry, ABRs, GRI, CRS. I think you and I, how many others would you think we have that CRB, Certified Real Estate Broker designations? Are there other ones in Northeast Louisiana that have that designation? I'm sure there's a few, isn't there?
Yeah, there's got to be several other people that would have that CRB designation.
But, you know, we've been to classes in New Orleans and talked about rate of return and calculations and numbers and everything. But let's just kind of get started here and talk about people buying real estate for rental properties. Now, next week, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to try to discuss flipping, buying and flipping. This is interesting, Dwayne, because we had somebody interested in a particular house, and it was listed by a company out of another outlying small community. We called that person, and it was a small little house that might be good for a flip. And the owner answered and laughed about it. He said, you know, my sister bought that house, and she wanted to get into flipping, and she thought this would be a great opportunity, but bought it, and after the first two meetings with the contractors, trying to get them out there and get something done, she got so disgusted with it, she said, I don't want to do this, just put it up for sale. But we'll talk about that a little bit next week, but let's talk about rentals as an investment. Is it, now, you know, if you got a lot of money and you're an entrepreneur and all, but for an average person, an average family saying, you know, let's look at the future, let's look at maybe investing in a rental, is that a good idea?
I think so. You know, especially as for an independent contractor like a lot of people are, what kind of retirement can you have? You certainly don't want to just live on Social Security. But as an investor, that will give you some retirement income if you do start buying some rental property. Mm-hmm. Actually, there are 4 streams of income if you finance a house. And in today's market, you can get a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage on investment property with a 20% equity position or 20% down payment. In today's market, the interest rate varies between 4 and 4.5% for an investor. I calculated some stuff at 4.25%, but there are 4 streams of income from an investment. And may I go over those?
Sure.
Okay. You have cash flow. Cash flow is the what's left over from your monthly rent. You have principal and interest that you have to pay. You have monthly taxes. And on a $100,000 house, your taxes would be approximately $77 a month in Ward 5 in Ouachita Parish. You have monthly insurance, and I'm estimating that to be about $55. You've got to calculate vacancy in there, and you have to calculate maintenance. And so that would equal, if you subtract all of those things, that would equal your monthly cash flow that you would have. Another stream of income is appreciation, and I use a 2% appreciation to when I do some calculations. Another stream of cash is your principal reduction. Every time you make a payment, part of that payment will go towards principal reduction, so you can quantify how much that would be on a yearly basis. And the last stream of cash flow is your depreciation. The way you calculate that is you take your value of your property less the value of the lot, and whatever's left, you divide that by 27.5, and that's what you can deduct from your income tax every year.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at all of those cash flows, your cash-on-cash return is 20% or more on a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage.
Interesting. Buy rental, and instead of putting it in the bank or savings account or stocks, and you never the volatility of it, there is stability in investing in real estate in the rentals. Now, 30 years, you don't really like, I'm guessing, do you like the 30-year mortgage for investments?
Yes, I do, because you have more cash flow. And then you can utilize that money. You can reinvest that cash flow back into some other properties.
Mm-hmm.
What you try to do is accumulate as many as possible when you're young, let the other folks pay for it, and then when you get older, you can start paying off those mortgages early. But
Mm-hmm.
in today's market with a low interest rate, I would suggest that you get a 30-year mortgage.
Yeah. And is it realistic for a couple? Now, they've got to come up with 20% down. Now, there might be options of going to the bank. You're not going to get a 30-year mortgage, but you can probably go to a commercial bank, just like a car loan or another type of loan, and borrow the money. The bank might do it, might amortize it for, 15 years or something, but they're going to balloon it probably in 5 years or something. But they might do it, and instead of the 20% cash, maybe you have another property or put a second mortgage in your house or some other equity maybe you could use for that, Dwayne?
Sure. One thing that you might consider is just going to the bank and get a loan for the property and enough money to fix it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you sign a 180-day note. You don't have to pay interest until the 180 days is up or until you refinance the property. You go in there and you fix it up. You get a new appraisal on it. You cash out. You can get an 80% of the appraised value, which you could typically get all of your money back that you have invested, pay off your loan, and also have enough to maybe put into another property.
Mm-hmm.
That's an easy way to do it. You don't have to make any payments if you have a friendly banker until the 180 days is up or until you refinance it.
And then when you get it fixed up and you get it rented, then you can go and refinance it, right, through a normal conventional Fannie Mae loan or something?
It's a Fannie Mae 30-year fixed-rate mortgage.
Mm-hmm. And they'll do investor loans, properties that you don't live in. Is there a certain number that you can do of those? Do you know?
Well, typically it's 5 until you get established, and then it depends on what kind of reserve you have. They will let you have more than 5.
And, rents are very good right now.
Yeah, rents are very good. I use an index of 80 to 85 cents a square foot per month, and say on a 1,250 square foot house, 3 bedrooms, bath, and a half, that equals $1,000 a month rent that you can get. You probably would rent it for $9.95 on a 3-bedroom, bath, and a half in a good area.
So if we just took a average scenario, what do you think the average price range? Now, some people like the low-end stuff. They like $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 stuff. You kind of like the higher-end stuff, don't you?
Well, it's really varying. I have properties that's $100,000, and I have some that's $180,000, somewhere in that area. So, and there's a market for anything in between. Actually, we get emails occasionally if someone's willing to pay $2,500 or $3,000 a month. If they're coming in here for a couple of years with a company and they really don't want to buy, they're willing to pay more money than a normal person would.
Okay. Now, I'm just plugging some stuff in here. and you correct me, but if we just take a $100,000 house, somebody wants to jump into investing in real estate, and they find a house for around $100,000 they think is a really good deal, and they got to put $20,000 down, on it to come up with equity or whatever. But let's say they take that $80,000 and finance it for 30 years, somewhere around, I'm just saying $430 a month, principal and interest.
It comes out to $393 at 4.25.
Okay, so $393. We'll just say $400. What would you add for taxes and insurance for a full payment?
$77 for taxes and $55 for insurance.
Okay, so 12, 7, 8, 9, 13, 5. We'll just say $530 a month total payment on that. Now, a $100,000 home would probably be about how many square foot, Dwayne?
Well, I've got $1,250 here for a $100,000 home, and you can get $1,000 a month for that.
Okay. So what we've done here is we're taking a scenario. Well, yes, you've got to invest $20,000, okay, in this scenario, but your payments are $532. You can get $1,000 rent on it. Now, yes, you've got vacancy. You've got to account for when somebody moves out, and it may be vacant for a month or so, and you've got repairs, maintenance, and all that. But you've got near $500 a month of cash flow, less your vacancy and maintenance. That's not too bad, is it?
No, it's not. But you also you've got to consider your appreciation, your principal reduction, and your depreciation as far as how much money you're actually making on it.
Even though it's a 30-year loan, at 10 years, and you're always conservative, but at 10 years, at 2% appreciation, 20%. If we just said 25%, now that $100,000 house is worth $125,000, and you're not going to owe $80,000 anymore. The principal reduction of that. Now you've got some good equity in that too.
And you can borrow against that equity
to buy another one.
Yeah.
We have a mutually good friend, and I'm just going to say his name on the air, Robert Clark. You know Robert?
I do.
I don't know if he'll come on the air with me or not, but tremendous story. This guy owns, and many of you know Robert Clark probably. He was a director, I believe, at was it OIB Bank?
Yes.
Yeah. But a very good friend. We were in Alexandria in some real estate meetings, and he and I snuck out to play golf. And he does lease purchases, rent to own. But I won't divulge the story without his permission, or if he'll get him on the air with me sometime and tell him. But bottom line, he started with one deal. And it was crazy how it started, that story. But the bottom line is I'm thinking he owns like 70 properties free and clear right now. And I asked the stupid question, and I'm supposed to be smart, but I say, Robert, how do you handle all that maintenance and repairs and everything? He looks at me, grabs me by the shoulders, and says, Darryl, it's rent to own, okay? There is no repairs. There is no nothing. They handle repairs. They handle rent. They handle everything. As long as they make the payments, we're all good. And but he started with one, moved up. And I'm just taking a wild guess. He owns like 70, something free and clear. Now, you can just guess the rentals that come in from that. And, Robert, if you're listening, my apologies, but maybe I'll get him on the air and talk about that. But you're right. You start with one property. Be patient. Wait a little bit. Build up a little equity. Use that equity to go get another one, right?
Yes. And actually, the first one is the hardest one to buy because you say, will it really work? Well,
right.
It really will work if you will do it. One thing that I've been asking some people is, what would your life be like if you own 10 properties free and clear? And they sit there and think a minute and say, well, I could do whatever I wanted to do.
You're right.
And that is true. They can.
I believe, and don't you believe, that the majority of the population, people that have stable jobs or whatever, could go out right now and there's a way to buy a rental. And then maybe how long before to get that one up and going? How long before the second one?
Well, I would try to buy 1 the first year, 2 the second year, 3 the third year, and then as many as I could after that, because you would have quite a bit of cash flow coming in, and your friendly banker would know what you're doing. And you can borrow more money by doing it that way.
Now, would you agree the mistake I see people make is they rent something out for $1,000, their payment's $500. They take that $500 and they go spend it and try to live on it and everything. Then they've got a roof that's got to be replaced or vacancy, and then they go underwater. Isn't it good if somebody's got a job and they can live off their other stuff, set this money aside for future purposes or reserves or whatever, and try not to live on those rentals?
You should have a separate account and not touch that money. And say a young person, a young couple just got married, in a year or so they have a child. If they were to buy a house for that child, and by the time they got ready to go to college, they could either sell that house or just use the cash flow to help them send their children to college.
Mm-hmm. And isn't that wonderful? A young couple, I'll say young, say 30 years old or so, 25 years old, stable jobs, living okay, got a child, maybe 1 or 2, 3 years old, buy a rent house. That can be paid, you could probably pay that off in 15 years. Isn't it possible to pay it off in 15 years?
Sure, you can pay it off faster than that. If you put all the cash flow back into the principal, you could pay it off in less than 15 years. Yeah,
if I just take this same example here on a 15-year deal, that's about $600, somewhere around $600 a month, plus your taxes and insurance. So let's just say $750 a month. Now that only leaves you $250 for reserves, but we're talking about now you're paying it off in 15 years. If you just broke even, making your payment, maintenance, vacancy, if you just broke even every month for 15 years, and it wasn't a big headache or anything, 15 years, you have a $100,000 house that you bought that's now appreciated at least 30%, probably $150,000, and it's free and clear. That's pretty good savings for your kids going to college, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's an excellent savings. And actually, after 15 years, most properties would double in value.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So and I agree with that. I think you're probably looking at $200,000 or so, and rents have probably gone up. My goodness, look at 10 years ago, Dwayne, what things used to rent for, $400 or $500, and now they're shit. So I have got 100 more questions. I'm going to ask a couple more, but I got a funny feeling I'm going to have to get you back next week or the following week and finish this up. This is too good of stuff. What general price ranges do you like for rentals? Do you find people doing?
Well, the best price range, in my opinion, you have more people that can afford something less than $1,000. So if you buy a 3-bedroom, bath and a half in a good area like Drew, Claiborne School, or there's some excellent schools over in the Monroe area, East Washita also. Buy it in a good school zone. You can rent those about as fast as you can put them on Craigslist.
Mm-hmm.
You put something on Craigslist that's in a decent area, and you'll get 40 calls the first day.
Okay. And Dwayne, I'm going to have to take a break and then get Paula on some properties and stuff. But I'm going to consider this part one of investing in real estate. And if we can tie it down the next week or two or something, we'll do part two, because I still got questions about where do you find rental properties, the breaking up lots, all kinds of questions on investing in real estate. But hey, if y'all have a question, ladies and gentlemen, 324-1500, I'll make a list and we'll make sure we cover it next time. Dwayne, thank you so much. Very honored to be associated with you. And I'm going to try to tie it down next time. I may have to buy you a Sonic quarter pounder with cheese, okay?
Okay. Thanks.
All right, we're going to take a short break. Come back with more of Let's Talk Real Estate. Stay with us.
Looking for a title company to close your next real estate transaction? Call Acadian Title Agency, serving the entire Northeast Louisiana area. Quick closings on all types of loans, including FHA, VA, conventional, rural development, and more, including cash sales. Easy to talk to, straight answers, and experienced service. Call Lori Wiles, loan closing specialist at 812-3434. Owned by Katie Balsamo, attorney. That's 812-3434.
When you you find the home that you want to buy, choose the mortgage lender that can help you buy it. Assurance Financial. At Assurance Financial, lending is all they do. They've made it easy by using local appraisers, underwriters, and loan officers. It's home lending the way you like it. Call Assurance Financial at 812-0022 for your next home loan. That's 812-0022. Assurance Financial.
Buying a home, the absolute most important decision in the home buying process is having the home inspected by a qualified licensed inspector. Corey Wright with Corey Wright Inspections is experienced, licensed, and ready to assist you to make sure you are aware of the condition of the home you are buying. Corey is fair, honest, and will give you a quick but thorough assessment of the house you're buying. Don't find out when it's too late. Call Corey Wright at 318-547-7402 and get your property inspected. That's Corey Wright Inspections, 547-7402.
Looking for one of Northeast Louisiana's leading and most experienced real estate agents? Call Craig Morris, a full-time, lifelong resident agent with over 15 years experience. Also, Craig is a member of Coldwell Banker Group 1's coveted Wall of Fame.
Craig Morris here. Call me today at 381-MOVE to discuss a successful strategy that will guide you through your next real estate transaction.
For quality and professional service you can trust, call Craig Morris, 381-6683.
Coldwell Banker Group 1 Realty, 362-0007. Each office independently owned and operated.
All right, how to change a light bulb the Christian way, okay? Y'all take notes of this, okay? How many Christians does it take to change a light bulb? Well, if you're charismatic, only one, because your hands are already in the air, okay? Pentecostal takes 10. 1 to change the bulb and 9 to pray against the spirit of darkness. If you're Presbyterian, none. Lights will go on and off at predestined times. If you're Roman Catholics, none. Candles only, please. Baptist, at least 15, okay? 1 to change the light bulb and 3 committees to approve the change and decide who brings the potato salad and fried chicken. Episcopalian, 3. 1 to call an electrician, 1 to mix the drinks, and 1 to talk about how much better the old one was. I'm going to get in trouble here. I know this show's going to last tonight. Mormons, it takes 5 Mormons, okay, to change the light bulb. 1 man to change the bulb and 4 wives to tell them how to do it, okay? Unitarians, we choose not to make a statement either in favor, for, or against the need for a light bulb. However, if you're on your journey you find the light bulbs work for you, you are invited to write a poem or compose it, okay? Methodist, undetermined. Whether your light is bright, dull, or completely out, you are loved. You can be a light bulb or a tulip bulb. Bring a bulb of your choice to the Sunday lighting service and a covered dish to pass, okay? Nazarenes, it takes 6. 1 woman to replace a bulb while 5 men review church lighting policy. Lutherans, none. Lutherans don't believe in change. Amish, what's a light bulb? Paula Beasley, how are you today? Ladies and gentlemen,
good.
That
was funny.
We have on the air live with us the one and only Miss Paula Beasley. You know, and I brag about you so much. Realtor of the Year in Northeast Louisiana a few years ago, state director, local president of the board, top agent, but the sponsoring broker for Coldwell Banker Group 1. I don't know how many agents we've got, 130, 140, whatever, throughout Northeast, 17 parishes or so. But you're responsible for every single one of them. You understand that, don't you?
Yes.
Yes. She wakes me up, JR, she wakes me up at 4 o'clock in the morning. Yes. She said, what do you think Bill's doing right now? Where do you think Bill's at? Do you think Mary's home? Do you think, But
that is so true.
I know. Hey, give us just a few of the new properties on the market right now. Let's let some of the listening audience know what some of the newer properties that have just gone on the market throughout Northeast Louisiana.
Okay, awesome. And these are just a few that I pulled just at your last show. Miss Melinda Freeman, she has a cute 2-bedroom, 1-bath home with a covered patio on 1 acre in West Carroll Parish. It's at 5638 Highway 2, and it's only $35,200.
Whoa.
That is an awesome price.
Now, if Dwayne's something to listen, that might be a good rental property to buy, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And this next one, too, Mr. Steve Thomas, too is going great guns.
He closed two deals today.
Yeah, listing and selling like crazy. He's an awesome realtor. But he has a new one at 325 Connie Young Road. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,280 heated square feet. It's also on 1 acre, and it's only $55,000.
That's unheard of. That's down like 144 in Calhoun, I think, isn't it, somewhere?
Yeah, exactly. We have one at 902 Roselawn that Miss Frances Grafton has listed. It did have a little flood damage, but it was minimal, and they're repairing it right now. 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,830 heated square feet for $115,000.
Wow, in North Monroe.
Yeah, absolutely. And Miss Angela Tarver, she has a great home located in the Mangum School District. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,782 heated square feet, 407 Hickson Street, and it is $135,000. There is a beautiful home nestled in a quiet neighborhood in the town of Gina that Mr. Harrison Lilly has listed. It is at 131 Verna Drive, 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,745 heated square feet, on 1.75 acres for $149,900. Mr. Nick Olson has a gorgeous condo at 223 South Grand. It's 1 bedroom, 1 bath, 946 heated square feet, but this has gorgeous views of the Ouachita River, and it's right downtown Monroe. One-of-a-kind condo for $175,000.
Wow.
Yeah. This one is gorgeous, too. It's close and convenient to everything. It's move-in ready. It has a new updated kitchen, new roof, 2 living areas, sunroom, office, 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 2,815 heated square feet. It's at 104 Comanche Circle in West Monroe, and Miss Charlotte Gaston has it listed
Indian Lakes, huh?
$49,900. Oh, and this one, too. This is a gorgeous waterfront 4-bedroom, 3-bath home situated on a quiet, dead-end cul-de-sac in Darbone Hills on a private lake. It's at 201 Andre Drive. It's on about a ½ acre, but it's amazing. It's got fireplaces, stainless steel appliances, fully functional island, large living room, separate den, formal dining. It has everything you can imagine for $310,000. Mark Uchley, he just listed this one.
I think he's had 4 or 5 this week, I think, closings, deals.
It's on Saline Lake, which is in Winfield, but it's a custom-built home. It comes with all the appliances, plus the washer, dryer, a double oven, refrigerator, boathouse, private boat launch, great fishing, duck hunting, and deer hunting all year. It's 125 Camp Allen Road, and again, the house is 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,150 heated square feet, 1.25 acres for $325,000. Can I give a couple more?
Yeah, give a couple more.
Okay. This one, if you're looking for your own piece of privacy, heaven on earth, you need to look no further. It's 9.8 acres. It's lit at 218 Beulah Church Road, 4 bedrooms, 4.5 bathrooms, $369,000, 3,158 heated square feet in Calhoun, and Miss Liz Hammett has that one listed.
Yes, fantastic.
Miss Sherry Williams. This is also a beautiful custom-built home sitting on 5 pretty acres, just minutes from I-20. It's 1155 Owens Road, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 2,189 heated square feet. It's a custom-built, beautiful home with all the upgrades for $370,000.
Some fantastic deals. And, we've got $1 million deals out there. We had a $3.2 million deal that closed recently.
Right.
But there's a lot of homes out there. You mentioned some homes for $35,000, $50,000, $100,000. Those are fantastic investments for people. And, what was that $35,000 house out you mentioned?
The $35,000 house is in Oak Grove.
Yeah.
But it's on 1 acre. It has a house. But what I failed to mention, I was going to, it also includes a detached beauty shop that has a half bath and covered parking.
Lordy.
So you could have a business and live there. $35,200.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dwayne and I were talking about investing in rental properties. That property, your total payment would probably be $225, $2 to $250 a month. Taxes, insurance, and everything, $2 to $250 a month. I guarantee you, it's got to rent for even in Oak Grove, probably $500 or so, wouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Gee, particularly with the shop on it. Now that sucker would probably pay off in 10 years or less.
Right.
If you wanted to. So.
Right. That's true.
All right. Well, Miss Beasley, your husband may be a little late tonight. We talked about new agents, all the 30 or 40 new agents that have joined us. I had 2 today already that I've met with, as you know. You met with both of them, very quality people. But I've got 2 more tonight. I've got one at 6:15 right after the show, and I've got one at 7:30 right after that I'm meeting with. So.
Well, goodness gracious!
So,
you go, Darryl Beasley.
So did you get me a salad or not tonight?
I did get you a nuke salad.
All right. All right. Well, we will talk to you soon, I hope, okay?
Okay.
All right. And talking about people coming into to real estate, let me just tell you really quick what it takes. And this is amazing. And then I'm going to give you the Darryl Beasley rule of thumb for investing in real estate, how to easily, simply, in my opinion, you may not get anybody else to agree with this philosophy, but I have reduced it to a very simple little calculation to determine if something is a reasonable investment or not, or how good the investment is. But getting into real estate, you have to go through a 90-hour course. You can do that online for as little as $195, a 30-day online class for $195 for the real estate course. Then you have to go take the state exam. Most people go to Shreveport here. You can do it in Baton Rouge, I think Lafayette, other places. Most people go to Shreveport, take the state exam, and then you join the local board and everything. But, in 30 to 45 days, average, you can be licensed legal. Now, the school itself is only a couple $100. When I meet with somebody, and if anybody has an interest in real estate, I personally sit down. We're talking about maybe an hour or so, okay? But I personally sit down, and I go over everything from top to bottom. No secrets, no gray areas. Somebody going in real estate, they should know every single penny of the cost, not just for the school, but everything that's going to cost them along the way. They should know their commission. They should know if they're going to be charged for a mentor or for training, what their potential is. I go over all that from top to bottom, give you good information. You can leave and make the decision if real estate is good for you. But, it's funny in real estate, for a couple $100, you can go through school. Now, right now, go through school, take the state test, join the local board, everything all together, just get licensed legal and everything. I can sit here and tell you $200, but you're probably looking at, I'm going to say $1,100 or so with everything to get licensed and legal right now in real estate. A lot of those are one-time charges and everything. You have annual, but for $1,000, hey, a massage therapist, man, I think it's like $10,000, $20,000 or something, years, just to give somebody a massage. But for a couple $100, you can take a real estate course and handle the biggest investment in an individual's life. That's a little scary, I know, but that's why at Coldwell Banker Group One Realty, I personally, as the owner, meet with every single new agent, unless I'm out of town or or running from Paula or whatever. I don't know. But I meet with every single agent personally, go over everything personally. I want to know if they're honest, their ethics, if it's a two-way street. You decide if you want to come into real estate. We decide if you decide if we're the right company for you. We decide if you're the right company for us. Hey, I want to take a short break. Come back. I'm going to give you the best tip you've ever had in real estate to determine if an investment is good or not.
Are you in the process of buying a new home? Protect your investment by hiring a competent, reliable, and licensed home inspector. Ray Cartwright with Cartwright Home Inspections has been a local resident of Ouachita Parish for 40 years, certified in homes, pools, and spas. Let Ray help give you peace of mind when purchasing the biggest investment you'll probably ever make. Call Ray Cartwright at 318-307-0965. That's 318-307-0965. License number 10966.
For all of your electrical, air conditioning, and heating needs, call Delancey Service Company. Family owned. Jeremy Delancey will give you fair, honest prices from changing light bulbs to installing new air units or rewiring the entire house. Emergency service available 7 days a week with no overtime charges and covering the entire Northeast Louisiana area. Call 376-6928 for the company that can handle all your heating, air, and electrical needs on both residential and commercial property. Delancey Service Company. 376-6928 for service you can trust.
For your next home loan or mortgage refinance, call Tracy Day at AMCAT Mortgage. With 18 years mortgage experience, Tracy Day gives you local, professional, and friendly service. Loan programs include conventional, rural development, FHA, VA, refinance, debt consolidation, and cash-out refinances. For veterans, they also specialize in VA interest rate reduction loans, which require no appraisal, no income verification, and no money out of pocket. If you have an existing VA mortgage, call Tracy to lower your payments. They also give $500 lender credit on all types of loans to support their customers. Call Tracy Day at AMCAT Mortgage, 318-387-1331. That's 318-387-1331.
No need for you to worry, no need for you to fret. Coldwell Banker Group 1, proven to be the best. So if you want to buy or sell, put us to the test. Coldwell Banker Group 1, put your mind at rest.
Call the Monroe office at 361-0300, West Monroe at 362-0007, or the Rustin Group at 255-5302. Each office is independently owned and operated.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if you have a question on anything about real estate, getting into real estate, question on any of these properties, 362-0007. You can ask for me. Somebody will answer the phone 24 hours a day. Let me give you my quick tip on this. Is the Darryl Beasley analysis of how to determine if something is an acceptable investment or not. Simply take the sales price, not your loan, just take the sales price, divide it by the rent that you can get. If it is 15 years, and it's an okay investment. If it's 10 years, it's a pretty good investment. If it's less than that, it's a really good investment. You can buy a $100,000 house property, and let's say you can rent it for $1,000 a month. That's 100 months. That is 8 years. That's a pretty good investment, isn't it? If you can get down to 15 years, over 15 years, I don't really like that. 10 years is pretty decent. You get down to 5 years on something, it's pretty good. We're talking more about that next week. Got a lot more to talk about. Thank you for being with us. See you next week on Let's Talk Real Estate.